Welcome to another episode of A Breath of Fresh Jacob, where my feet are so cold right now, but like the rest of me's on fire. You ever do that, right? Like you just be sitting there and you're like, wow, I'm really comfortable, but my feet are so cold.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Sorry, I got a little distracted. Anyway, hi! Welcome to Brother Fresh Jacob. Today's topic is brought to you by Duck Shoes V. That also might be Duck Shoes 5 now that I look at it. I'd pick one, editor, and you can just have fun with it. Anyway, the question is, what are your thoughts on realistic military shooters, and would you consider ever playing / trying one? Example, Tarkov, Arma, Squad, etc. I have tried Tarkov, actually. So here's the thing about realistic military shooters. First, we need to figure out what exactly is a realistic military shooter. I think that we can all agree that Call of Duty is not a realistic military shooter. I don't care how hard they try, it's not. It's just no, okay. But something like Tarkov would be realistic. Or like the original Rainbow Six Vegas game. Actually, just Rainbow Six. The original Rainbow Six games were super hard because they were super realistic. I do think that Rainbow Six Siege is kind of in a middle ground, actually. It's still pretty realistic, but also it's got stuff that is like really over the top. But right, because that's the thing with realistic military shooters. Those games are hard. You get shot like twice, you're dead. Brings me back to what I mentioned earlier, that I have played Tarkov. The thing about Tarkov is I bought it and I downloaded it and I set it up and it was like, here, customize your base or whatever. All right, go out there and have fun. And I went out there and I didn't know what was going on. And the game was like, you should probably pick up a gun. And then I blew up and I died. And it was like, okay, whatever. I bought it to play with some friends, and then the friends never played it with me. And so it just kind of sat there until I uninstalled it because it needed room for other games. But I'd like to play it one of these days with maybe a group so that I could understand exactly how the game works and not just get thrown into a broken tutorial with bots that don't move. And it was a whole, maybe it wasn't bots. I don't know. There was enemies, but they didn't do anything. I don't know what was going on. Anyway, there was a game that I played. I think it was on Xbox 360. It was very realistic. I just can't remember the name of the game. My buddy Eric introduced it to me. I cannot remember the name of that game, but it was realistic. It was a little too realistic for my taste, so I didn't really like it that much. Eric, if you're watching this video, you better fucking comment what that game is called so that I can, like, figure that out, which, you know, that's not going to help any of you watching the video, but hey, maybe if he does comment with the name of the video, I'll make sure to hit that love button on it so it pops up at the top, or if you can pin, I don't know how that works. But we'll figure it out. It's fine. Anyway, here's what I remember about the game, right? It started off, I was like in like a field, like it had like a bit of a crest to it, and I think I had some teammates or something, and I was walking up the hill or whatever, and one of my teammates goes, "Sniper, 350 yards, southwest." I'm like, what? Dead. Instantly. Game over. I was like, what the f? And I just didn't play it anymore. That was my experience with that particular realistic military shooter. So one of the things I think that military shooters do that can kind of frustrate me is there's too much management. Whether it's too much inventory management, too much between match management, what you can take into the next match, that kind of management, like base management, that kind of stuff. Some of that's fine, but when it gets like too cumbersome, it gets really annoying to me. I think that's something that really helps define a military shooter is the guns. How realistic are the guns? Do they jam? Do you have to deal with upkeep on your guns? How is the spray pattern of like holding down an automatic weapon? What, like, is it pretty accurate? I know CSGO is pretty decent with those. I don't know much about CSGO. I've played it some, but like I've never really delved much too far into it. But yeah, I think that the guns are really important. A real game should have real guns, right? So think of Fortnite, right? The guns in that game are goofy. The whole game is goofy. So it doesn't seem very realistic. You have shields and blah, 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 all that stuff. It's a shooter, but it's not very realistic. Now then, look at another battle royale. Look at PUBG. Way more realistic compared to like Fortnite. It's still not like super realistic, but of all the battle royales I can think of off the top of my head, PUBG is definitely the highest one up there. Very realistic guns, the way that they handle. And it's got some not as realistic things, but for the most part, the game's pretty realistic. And I enjoy PUBG. I prefer Fortnite over PUBG myself. I used to like Call of Duty multiplayer. I don't really like it that much anymore, which kind of sucks. But I think another thing that's really important to note with a shooter game, a military shooter game, and how much realism it has or doesn't have is avatar strength. How strong is your character because of the character versus your skill, right? So like you play Call of Duty game, you're like the best of the best, like the elite soldiers, the ones that, you know, always get the job done. They're like super accurate and they can get like shot like 6 times in the chest and they're fine because they're hard asses or whatever. That's avatar strength. Your skill, that has nothing to do with your skill level. That's just the game making it more easy for you. That's a lot less realistic. Whereas if you just play as a dude like in PUBG, you just get dropped in there, you're just a dude, you get shot, you're in deep shit. Okay, you get shot a couple times and you're pretty much just dead. That's an important factor there. Also, a real military shooter doesn't really give you perks. You know what I mean? Right? Like, you can't really be like, oh, you can now reload faster, or your bullets do extra damage, or you take less damage from explosives. That's horse shit. Okay? None of that's real. It doesn't work like that. What that is skill. That comes back to the whole avatar strength thing, and I think that takes away from a game that's supposed to be realistic. It makes the games more fun, it makes the games more customizable, but it makes them less realistic. So I think at the end of the day, what are my thoughts on realistic military shooters? They have their place. They're fun. They scratch a certain itch. They fill a certain role, but they're definitely not for everybody. I can appreciate what they are and what they do. And one of these days, I'll probably find one that I actually really like more than just PUBG, which I only like. Anyway, thanks for tuning in today. That was an interesting topic. Thank you, Duck Shoes. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys back here for the next episode, which is gonna be another Monday, because Mondays, right? Now you can actually look forward to it. To always being on a Monday, it's really exciting. I love having this on a consistent upload schedule. Love it. All right. Oh, also, if you like the video, like it and share it and all that stuff. But did you know? I'm like a month and a half late on this, but did you know that we also have a Let's Play series that we've been releasing where I play games with friends? You should totally go check that out, because we got a lot of episodes, we got a lot of games, and editing is really expensive. Please go watch it so I can feel better about myself. Okay, bye.